This is Big Poppy Racing.
Welcome to the 2019 Diecast Games. This is Event 9, The Jump. Let's take a look at it. The cars will start at the 3D bot maker release and start down the track. They'll come to a ramp that has been secured to the table and the track to the ramp. The key to this jump is going to be staying straight coming off the Hot Wheels track onto the fat track. So let's get started. First up, Diecast Racer X. This picture is an error. The Firebird or the T-Bex funny car is his first car to jump, then the Ford F-150, and then the Turbulence. His Valvoline car has already participated in the events they need to. First up, the T-Rex. Gets a little sideways coming off the ramp, and he's going to have a jump of 26 inches. Next up, the Ford F-150. He's going to start off, and he gets a mark of 27.25, 27 and a quarter. And next and last for Diecast Racer X is the Turbulence. The Turbulence ends up with a 27.625. And this is how Diecast Racer X looks. So the pole standard's been set, and these are the cars to beat. Let's go next. Big Poppy Racing, the IROC Firebird. He has the Corvette Stingray and the drop top. Big Poppy been a real disappointment, and I can say that about myself. No medals yet. So here's the IROC Firebird. He comes down off the ramp. A little better jump. It looks like he's going to squeeze out. Yeah, just go ahead. Let's see what he gets. He ends up, we'll watch him flop around a little bit. Let you know this is hitting a soft styrofoam surface, so they may look a little harder hits than they really are. But he ends up with a 28.5 for the Firebird, or IROC Firebird. Next up is the Corvette Stingray. He comes down, passes the mark. Oh, just short, looks like, of the Firebird's spot. We'll take a look at him, and he's going to end up with 28 and an eighth, which is 0.125. 0.125, and next is the drop top. Drop top's been a little bit of a disappointment. We thought he would do better in this competition, but he has not medaled yet. And he is not going to medal here. Too heavy. Look, pulled him down off of the ramp, and he is going to end up with a sorry jump of 26. 26 is all he gets. So after we tally that up and put him up on the board, the IROC's in first place at a 28.5, and the Stingray 28.125, Turbulence with a 27.625. Next up, Nero 62. He's got the Dodge stock car, the 71 Dodge Charger, and the Chevy Silverado. First up, the Mopar. A little lighter car, might do better on the jump. Here he comes. He's in amongst the other group, slightly to the right. He's going to end up with a 27.75. So that puts him up toward the leaders. Next up, the 71 Dodge Charger. Charger also a lighter car. Good aerodynamics, comes off, and he's going to end up just short of that, 27 5/8, which equals a 0.625. Next is the Chevy Silverado. The pickup truck pulls in just a little short of the others. He's going to be just ahead of the drop top, and he will end up with a score of 27 even. So the Chevy Silverado has a 27 going to the board now. The IROC Firebird still in first at 28.5. The Corvette Stingray afterwards, and the Dodge stock car with a 27.75 has taken third place. Next up, 3D Bod Maker. He's got the Johnny Lightning Indy car, the T-Bird Stalker, and the Ford F-150. First up, the Johnny Lightning. See if he does lightning on the track here. Nice jump, good. He's going to end up in the midst of them. We'll see where he marks out. It's going to end up with a 27 and 0.5, 27.5. As you can see, we mark toward the top of the ruler so you can tell which mark is which. Next up, the T-Bird Stalker. This car is a little heavier. Still gets off the jump well. He's going to end up... Sorry for the out of focus, folks. We had some issues with this last race. This event ended up being the last thing we filmed just because of precautions. He ends up with a 27.75. And next is the Ford F-150. He's going to be a little short of the leaders, but he ends up with a 27.375. So that's going to put the current leaderboard. It's going to remain unchanged, 1 through 3. The T-Bird Stalker was able to tie for third place as we go into our next competitor. And that's Mr. Mom's Racing. He's got the Honda Civic, the 56 Flashsider, and the Way Too Fast. So let's see if he can make up some ground and try to catch the leader. First up, the Honda Civic. Comes off the ramp and a little front heavy. Gets a decent jump. Looks like he's going to be somewhere around 27.5. Let's see where he ends up. We're using the blue marker for this team, and it's 27.5. So the Honda Civic ends up with a 27.5 going into the next round. Next up is the 56 Flashsider. We missed him from the starting gate, but got the jump. He's going to go a little bit to the right side and not as good a jump. He's going to end up with a 26.5. Looks like 26.5 for the 56 Flashsider. The last car for Mr. Mom's Racing, the Way Too Fast. Starts down the ramp, comes off good. Nice float, and he's going to end up with the rest of the competitors. And before it's said and done, he's going to end up with a mark of 27.375. That's a 3/8, 27 3/8, which is a 27.375. Updating the board. Mr. Mom's not able to break into the top 6 or 7. Listed as is. We're still waiting for other racers. Next up, a personal friend of mine, Nick Devers Racing. He's got the Texaco Kmart F1 Formula One car, the Corvette Stingray, and the Sidekick. Remember, we're looking at a 28.5 to get it to beat the leader, but here comes the F1. Nice float, just a little heavy going down. Oh, he leaves the impression, huh? And he is going to be at a mark of 26.75 for the Texaco Kmart F1. Next up, the Corvette Stingray. This car gets off well. Look at him. Oh, he's gonna, now we're doing the front end of the car, and he is going to end up with a jump of 29 inches. 29 inches is the impact he made on the styrofoam. So we've got a new leader, I do think. Next is the Sidekick. And he's just really heavy. He's going to come down dead even with the last car, or not the last car, but the car at 26.25, the Flashsider, right beside him. We'll take a look and make sure. And he does end with a 26.25. 26.25 for the Sidekick. So you know what that means. Nick Devers has taken over first place with a 29-inch jump on that Stingray. The IROC Firebird in second, and the other Corvette Stingray in third with a 28.125. Next up, Diecast 64, Sir Robbie. We've got the Ferrari F40, the 44 Pontiac Stalker, and his Way Too Fast. First up, the Ferrari F40. He's off, out, down, and ends up with a 27 3/8, which is 27.625. Next up, the Pontiac Stalker. He starts down, comes in, nice float, and he's going to end up amongst the others just to the right. Now we did move the measuring track to to get out of the middle here. So we're now going to be landing a little bit to the right. He ends up with a 27 1/8, which is a 27.125. 27.125. Next and last for Diecast 64 is the Way Too Fast. Out he goes, gets a good jump. And he's going to go off and end up with a jump of 27 5/8, which is 27.625. 27.625 for the Way Too Fast. So updating the board, Nick Deaver still in first. Big Poppy holding second and third at the moment. Don't know if that's going to last. We've got some pretty good racers coming up. Here's the second set of cars as they finish all the way down to currently last place. And next up, the League of Speed. He's got the Ferrari F40, the 67 Mustang, and the Ford F-150. First up, the Ferrari F40. He comes off the ramp and is going to dive a little earlier. Yep, a little earlier it looks like than the other. And F40 I'm talking about from last time. He's going to end up with a measurement of 26.25. 26 1/4 is what he's going to get out of this. Next up, the 67 Mustang. Comes off, nice float. He's going to get a little extra distance and makes the impact. We go down to the field to see what he gets. 28.25, so he's over the 28 mark. 28.25. We'll do the update after the Ford F-150. He starts out. Wondering how the pickup trucks will do. They are definitely front heavy. And he does make his impact, and he is going to be sitting at 28 on the nose, 28 inches on the nose. So a couple of 28s for League of Speed. Let's update the board and see what we got. The top half of the board. Oh, this Mustang is taking over third place. Nick Deaver's still in first with 29. The IROC 28.5, and the 67 Mustang now at 28.25. Your second half of the entries, and we come to our next racer. Michael's Diecast Garage, Big MDG. He's got the Valvoline T-Bird Stalker. He's got the Ford F-150 and the Roger Dodger 2.0. Here comes the Valvoline Stalker. Comes off the ramp, good distance. Oh goodness, folks, he has busted. He has busted his spot on the board at 32 inches, folks. 32 inches. No, nobody even close. MDG and that heavy Valvoline Stalker. 32 inches. Next up's the Ford F-150. Of course, the Ford's going to dive a little early, end up in the midst. And he's going to end up with 27.75. See the gold mark there, 27.75. So last entry is going to be the Roger Dodger 2.0. Man, still reeling from that first jump. Roger Dodger's off. Hey, he's a lighter car. Look at him. Yeah, we're gonna have a good jump out of him. The Roger Dodger ends up with a 29 1/8. 29, no, 3/8. 29 3/8 is where he is, the gold mark there. So let's update the board. Look here, Michael's Diecast Garage has taken first and second place, moving Nick Deaver's from first to third, and Big Poppy out of the medals. Big Poppy, no likey. Next up, Hot Wheel Racer Mike. He's got the Soul Air, the Mustang, and the Ford F-150. First up, the Soul Air. Hot Wheel Racer Mike's not medaled yet in the competition. He gets a jump here. The Soul Air is going to make his impact and end up with a 27.25, 27.25. That's going to be in the middle of the pack in the field presently. Let's see what we've got next. He's up with the Mustang. The lighter Mustang than some of the others. And he is going to end up with a measurement of 28 inches. So 28 inches for the Mustang, which is going to put him in the middle of the field. And next up, the Ford F-150. They've not shown any great advantage with them right now, but here they come. He comes. Hey, folks. Oh, look at here. Look at here. 29.75. 29.75 for the Ford F-150, which is going to put Hot Wheel Racer Mike in second place. He is split MDG and is now in second place with a 29.75. Next up, Red Pill Racing, the last racer of the event. He's got the Jaguar, he's got the Matchbox Firebird, and the 50th anniversary F-150. First up, the Jaguar. Comes off the ramp to the other side, makes the impact, and he will end up with 28, dead on 28 inches. As you can tell, we got the red marker for him, for Red Pill Racing. Next up, the Firebird from Matchbox. Car's done pretty well in the competition. Gets the jump, comes down. Oh, just ahead of the Jaguar he had. And his measurement will be 28.25. 28.25 for the Matchbox. Next up, and the last entry in this event, the 50th anniversary F-150 from Red Pill Racing. He starts down the track, and he's going to have a little better measurement than the Matchbox Firebird. He's going to end up with a 29.5, and if I remember correctly, that may be good enough. Let's look at the board, and it is. Red Pill takes another bronze, and it ends up like this. MDG has the T-Bird Stalker at 32 inches. He gets the gold. Hot Wheel Racer Mike with the Ford F-150 at 29.75, the silver, and Red Pill Racing with another F-150 at 29.5. Here's how the car is finished up all the way through the competition. The points have been added to the right, and of course, if you have ties, they are split amongst the total points. So we've got the team board here at the far right side. We've added the points for the jump, and let's do once we're done, look here, Michael's Diecast Garage has jumped into second ahead of Diecast 64, and Red Pill still a commanding lead. Here's our medal count. Diecast 64 has 1 gold and 5 silvers. Red Pill, 2 silvers and 5 bronze, and on down the list. After 9 events, the car standings look like this. That front-running Fairmont with 140. Now the F-150 from Red Pill's moved into second, and the T-Bird Stalker into third. Here's the standings for cars 12 through 22. You can move it. All the Red Pill cars in the top 2 groups. Now we get into the third set from 23rd to 33rd. Moving from there into the fourth set from 34 to 44. Dominated by Big Poppy. From 45 through 55. And the last set of groups from 56 to 66. So that gives us an update of what we've done through 9 events. We have one more event. It'll be broken into 2 parts. So thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe. Join us next week for the last event, round 1 of the Fat Track Free-for-All. We'll see you then.
This has been a Big Poppy Racing production.